podcast, the show where sports aren't just a game, they're a lifestyle. Join Kat, Ray, and Sammy as we dive into all things sports, from buzzer beaters to game-winning goals and everything in between. Whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or something new under the sun, we've got it covered. Get ready for the hot takes, the inside scoop, and the stories that make you say, wow. So lace up those sneakers, grab your gear, and let's get into it. Bounce, pass, pitch, where the game never stops.
What's up, guys? It's the Bounce Pass Pitch podcast. Come live to you with some video this time. You wanted to see our beautiful faces. And Ray. That's tough.
Anywho.
Once again, we want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank you for all the hype last week around our podcast.
All the support. Shout out everybody that listened, everybody that commented on the Instagram posts.
Yep.
What else? Shout out to my boy Brian out in Japan. Being the one listener way out there. So now we can say we're worldwide.
We are Mr. Worldwide. We're worldwide. And but we're excited to record again and get with you guys and put this out. But last week was awesome. Go watch it if you haven't. It's on all podcasts available. So we always start our show out. Introduce yourselves. My name is Christian or Kat. And I'm excited to record with these guys. I like the Longhorns. I guess that was brought up. I didn't mention that. So I thought it was a given.
Yep. Horns down, baby. I'm Ray, Michigan fan, of course, Yankees, Packers. Again, don't talk about the 76ers, but we'll move past that.
I'm sorry to interrupt the intro, but the Sixers just lost 7 in a row. I've just seen that.
That's why we don't talk about it.
But anyways, I'm a Texas Tech fan, Titans, Spurs, baseball. Still undecided. I'll figure out by the end of spring training though for y'all. I'll get a team for y'all. And what sport am I missing? I think I got everything.
Not at all. We won't record intros like that every time, but we want to get you guys know who we are.
Since we got video this time.
Video,
good visual aid.
Oh, sorry, my phone went off. All right, week in review. That's how we always open up our show. Is the week in review. So, a couple things we have. First thing that we wrote down on this shared page is the cap space increase for the NFL. What's that mean? What's it look like?
Yep.
20 mil?
Yeah, it went up. Yeah, right, 20 mil. I mean, it's going to be huge for some of those teams that already have a ton of cap space. I know Packers can really, they already had a ton of room right now. So just with that increase, they can really go out and really shop. And especially it's kind of prime time for them. They got a young roster. Their quarterback, Jordan Love, got paid last year, but the way they moved his contract, he's probably one of the lowest paid right now. So they really go out and really make some moves. Some other teams are out there too that kind of do the same thing. So
it's a weird thing to me. Like you go get your bag and they're like, all right, let me restructure next year.
Yeah.
Like just sign like I don't know. I wonder if the NFL could do like deferment like baseball does.
Like Shohei. Like Shohei, have it all deferred.
Just get it.
Put it off to the side for a few years.
That'd be crazy.
Let it accrue interest.
That would be pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got the cap space. I'm a big NFL guy, but I don't really understand what constitutes the cap to be raised, or is it a percentage? Did y'all read anything on that at all?
I think it's just revenue based off how much the NFL made, along with how much the stadiums make.
They made billions.
Yeah, so every year they keep making more and more money with their TV deals and everything like that. And I think
plenty of M's.
Yeah.
It goes up every year, right?
Yeah, it's been going up every year.
It?
I don't think it's ever gone down though.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Baseball probably, if they ever got a cap, should go down. No one watches that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just kidding. That's terrible. I'm awful.
But
I'm a baseball hater. I mean, unfortunately, I'm liking baseball.
They get a lot of stadium revenue.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
all the beer that they sell, hot dogs, and all
especially if you go to Yankee Stadium. I've never been, but my cousin Rolo, he went, him and his wife, and they said water bottles there were like $7-8.
Oh,
crazy for water. So I can only imagine what the other drinks are.
And you're in
costing.
Brooklyn.
And the food. Yeah.
And you're already in New York City.
And, and you're in New York already.
The only place I've ever been that I was like, I'm going to drink water out of a bottle was when I went to Michigan. I was like, I'm not drinking any water except for out of a fountain.
We were close to Flint, that's why.
Yes. I didn't know. I was scared. I know that sounds terrible. I was genuinely scared at first.
Came back with one eye.
Yeah. Okay, so Patriots have the most cap space at 125. This is before the increase. Saints negative 51 million.
Wow, who are they paying that much?
I don't know. Michael Thomas. They're still paying Michael Thomas.
Derek Carr.
I don't know.
Cam Jordan. Does he have that? He can't be being paid that much.
No, that's crazy.
That's
Who did
They're just in debt.
I have no idea who they paid.
Maybe it's people they traded away.
Could be.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely, yeah. So we got the cap space increase. Also, we got news on Joey Bosa.
Yeah, just got or there's talks that he's going to be released or cut. They're going to move off him. Man, I think he's going to be a really good. I mean, we kind of talked about it. He's missed a few games, but he's just like when he's in the game, he's very dominant. So I think he's going to be a huge pickup for somebody. I know we kind of talked about it. I mean, I think all three of our teams would be happy to take him, Broncos, Packers, and Titans.
They could get him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 29 years old or about to turn 30.
He's older.
Is he the? No, he is the older
He's
one.
the
He's the
older
older brother.
Nick.
So he's probably.
He's been in the league for a minute. My theory is he's gonna go play with Nick in San Fran.
I mean, I don't want to rule that out at all.
Yeah, he's 29.
29.
Oh.
See, I got that encyclopedia of knowledge. They got 47 million cap space, but they've got San Francisco has some pieces they're gonna need to try to re-sign. To be aggressive, and I think is it this year or next year that Purdy will come off his rookie deal.
Yeah, Purdy's probably gonna get paid this offseason though. I think they kind of already talked about John Lynch and Shanahan had already talked about Purdy's their guy. So I don't think he's gonna go into next year without a contract.
Yeah,
So I'm sure they'll pay him big.
Yeah, that's a hard thing. Like he had a bad season this last year, but
That's when you pay him.
yeah, I guess that's true. And, like we want to pay you now, but I guess they didn't have a run game. We talked about that last week with their who's their backup? Like
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason. I almost said
Yeah.
Frank Mason.
And then
Who was
Isaac
that?
Grindo got hurt too.
Frank Mason's that receiver that played for the Ravens.
Frank Mason.
Frank Mason.
No, that's
That boy got two first names.
no.
Frank-
that's-
who's Frank Mason?
You're talking about the basketball player from Kansas.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I was like, what happened to that guy, Frank
Yeah.
Mason? I don't know why that name popped in my head, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of interesting things. I mean, Patriots, if they went out, I mean, they just got a new coach, heck
Patriots could
of
sign
a
who they
coach.
want.
Yeah, and they got all the cap space, so they could really change their whole roster with how much money they
They
have.
could go sign 3, 4, 5 players like,
Yeah.
that are.
And then, especially being defensive minded like that, you go and get a Joey Bosa off the edge. I mean, especially after they lost Judon last year, but
Yeah.
I
they've
think
got
they'll
Christian
still be
Gonzalez,
dominant.
The
Yeah,
corner.
lockdown
Patriots might
corner.
be
Go.
scary.
They might be a good team. Yeah, they just got to get their run game going.
That's my favorite player in the league.
Christian Gonzalez.
Hispanic legend right there. Doing it all for the Hispanics.
He'll never be Pat Surtain, though. I'm sorry. I'm such a homer, unfortunately.
I don't think he'd be as good as Pat Surtain though. He's nice, but
Pat Surtain, I didn't realize.
PS2 is pretty nice.
Best jersey I ever decided to buy was Pat Surtain. Ray was with me. He's like, "You gonna get a Wilson jersey?" I was gonna order him. I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I don't feel good about
A Zach Wilson jersey.
No, yeah, Zach Wilson. Russell Wilson, Zach Wilson, any of the Wilsons. Like,
How are y'all's backups? Who are y'all keeping? Because I know y'all had 3 backups or 2 backups.
They were keeping Bo Nix and Stidham.
Are they gonna get rid of
I
Zach
don't know.
Wilson? Or are they gonna keep Stidham?
I think though. I mean, Zach Wilson's a free agent. I don't think they were gonna re-sign him unless he like takes some kind of discount or something. But even then, I don't think he wants to go somewhere he can't compete for a job.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I was thinking about cap space. I was looking at the Saints have the worst cap space. It's crazy because Brandon Staley for the Chargers just signed with the Saints, and it's like flip flopped. Like when they were the Chargers, Brandon Staley was the head coach, and Kellen Moore was their
the
OC.
offensive coordinator. Yeah.
And now it's flipped where
Yeah.
Kellen Moore's the head coach and he's their DC. I don't know how the Saints will do. I mean,
I don't know. I think they're kind of in a weird spot. I mean, we kind of talked about it. They'd lost Michael Thomas. Derek Carr's going to be coming back healthy.
He's gonna be
when he's been
their
healthy,
guy.
he's been all right. He's not like a world beater or anything like that, but he's definitely top 15 quarterback. I would say average quarterback.
I would say definitely bridge quarterback. Someone that he's already got the contract. I mean, he's already got paid, so you're just gonna ride him out until he doesn't.
And their defense is kind of iffy. They traded away Marshawn Lattimore last year. Cam Jordan's still there, but he's getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
the whole defense, their linebacker. Who's their linebacker? They got a really good linebacker.
Demario Davis,
really good linebacker, but he again getting older.
Same with Honey Badger, right? The Honey
Badgers.
Honey Badger.
But all getting kind of old, so they got some holes to fill, and it's going to be kind of hard to do that with no cap, no money.
Yeah.
No cap. It's going to be hard.
No cap.
no
I
cap,
remember at the beginning of the season when they were 2-0, everybody thought they were legit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when they smacked,
the Cowboys. We didn't know the Cowboys were going to be terrible.
And then they beat the Panthers really early on.
Yeah, beat
nasty.
the brakes off them too. They scored 80 points in the first 2 games.
was
Everyone's
crazy.
like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
these guys are legit."
And then they crashed.
And then
And then
the
Derek Carr's their
Saints.
quarterback.
Yeah.
And then they got hurt.
Yeah.
Also on the football week in review, Zach Martin retired. I showed you a crazy stat.
Yeah, I think it was like 0 pressures, or you showed me one that was 6 total pressures or something like that.
It was he had 9 Pro Bowl selections, and it was 7 total accepted holds.
Holding calls. Yeah, that's what it was.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's a crazy
that's
stat.
insane. He also had like 0 holding penalties on pass protection plays. He had like 6,000 plays that he played through.
That's really, really good.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a legend.
He's
so
the
Cowboys losing the legend right
best
there.
statistical lineman ever, low key.
Really?
Yeah.
Low key. I mean, he's got the
true,
best stats.
I mean, some guys get 7 holding calls every season or more, and he played 11 years in the NFL. That's less than 1, and it's accepted penalties. So I'm sure he had other ones that were not accepted. But 7 accepted penalties. He hurt his team 70 total yards.
Yeah,
that's
insane.
Yeah, that's just
that's insane.
him and Joe Thomas. Put them on a team together. Joe Thomas. All
would have
these
been nuts.
crazy offensive linemen go out with these terrible teams with the Cowboys. Never have a shot at anything. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'd be like, I'm not re-signing with you guys.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'd rather retire.
I can't believe that. He's like, I can't do another season of this.
Hey, he got his bag though. And he left his legacy.
He's a bag getter
for the Cowboys fans. There
now that kind of leaves a big hole for them too. I mean, you already had a shaky offensive line
and no running back,
no run game,
quarterback who
you got
come
Dak,
back that might be hurt still. Doesn't have as good mobility from when he broke his ankle, definitely. So
hopefully it's not a Kirk Cousins situation where he comes back.
I was just about to say that.
He comes back and can't move in the pocket, you know.
I was literally going to say that. What did he get hurt this time? Why is he hurt this time?
Achilles, right? Oh, wait.
No,
Dak?
Dak.
It was like something in his hand. No?
In his hand? I just remember when he rolled his ankle and broke it.
That was bad, bro.
And he's never been like the same mobile. I mean, like his mobility hasn't been the same. Like moving around the pocket and doing things like that.
When he was at Mississippi State, that's what he was doing to make those crazy plays.
He tore his hamstring.
Oh, okay.
Partially off the bone.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Brother, ooh.
November 2024. Yeah, that was week 9 against
You know something about pulling hamstrings?
Yeah.
Every time we try to do
Every time we play
activity.
softball, I pull my hamstring. I'm good for like 3 games, and then after that, I got a pulled hamstring. And I'm gone.
So, moving on to weekend review still, we got 2 more things. We got the baseball umpire replacement is what I put, ABS.
Yep.
Which stands for
Automated Ball Strike System.
Ball Strike System, perfect.
Yeah.
I forgot what it stood for, actually. So this is what the MLB posted. I'm going to read this real quick, okay? So the ABS has been tested since 2021, 2025. About 60% of 2025 spring training games will be used. This will be used. So each team starts the game with 2 challenges. Only the batter, the pitcher, the catcher can challenge an umpire's call. Challenge must be made immediately after the umpire's call without the assistance from the dugout or other players. A scoreboard graphic will show locations. Successful challenges are retained. You only lose your challenge if the umpire's call is confirmed. So, what do you guys think as far as, from the game perspective? Both of you obviously more knowledge of baseball than I do about that. How do you feel?
I think it's all right. It's all right. I mean, the thing about baseball, it's such a like old school game.
Yeah.
It's so late to come using new technology and stuff, but I think it's cool. I saw I was watching the Yankee spring training game, and one of the batters right before Spencer Jones hit a home run. I can't remember the guy that was before him, but it was a 3-2 count. Took a called strike. He challenged it, ended up walking, which brought up Spencer Jones, who hit an oppo home run. Which, so it could be game changing, especially in counts like that. And we kind of me and you kind of talked about it, how like every pitch really matters in baseball. So it really is important because it kind of changes the way the whole at bat goes. So instead of being down 2-0, now you're 1-1.
I made a statement. I was like, maybe they should just bring it in. You could only challenge it when the count is either
a strikeout or a walk.
Strikeout or a walk. Like that's the only time you should challenge it. Mm-hmm. Ray playing Division I baseball and playing baseball his whole life was kind of like, well, the whole mentality of
the at-bat,
the whole mentality of the at bat changes because as a hitter, 0-2 versus 1-1. There's different things I'm looking for, different ways I'm trying to swing, or even as a pitcher.
As
you
a pitcher,
and you're, you've got no balls, 1 strike, and then you throw 2 balls in a row. That's 2 balls, 1 strike. You have to be a little bit more aggressive versus you being 1 ball, 1-2 versus 2-1.
Yeah, 0-2 and 1-1 is 2 different things, like totally different the way you attack a hitter, and then when you're hitting, totally different as well too. So you you're looking for different pitches in those counts. 0-2, you're probably looking curveball in the dirt, fastball up, something like that. But 1-1, it can kind of really be anything. You're probably looking, depending how he's pitching you, either outside, inside, so.
Yeah, I like the ABS, but I do want them to always keep it at a limit. I don't think they should ever just rule out the umpire. Because I think sometimes even back in the day, like you play through the umpire's zone sometimes with what they're calling and stuff. So
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I mean, you as a catcher too. That's a big part of being a really good catcher is
frame that.
Yeah, framing it, building that relationship with the umpire behind you. You see sometimes nowadays people catch the ball and like the catcher turns and looks and like now you got a bad relationship with him. He's not going to give you a call. But if you learn how to do it, it's kind of a skill to do, like to talk to the catcher and.
Just watched a video on that, like how to be a good catcher, and it was talking about like if you ever have an issue with the umpire, you never look back. You always talk to him like nothing's going on.
Yeah, he looked down.
But I think kind of going off what you were saying about they should limit it. I think it's good that they have two successful challenges, and then once out of the two, you're done. Yep. So you're in the first or second inning, and you use them both, and you're gone. You're cooked. So it's almost like it brings another element to the game. And I think that's going to be exciting to watch. To be honest, like I said, I don't really watch a lot of baseball. I've watched more with Ray, World Baseball Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I swear, anytime we go watch baseball, like we have the Sod Poodles here in Amarillo, anytime we go watch baseball, Ray's like, all right, slider, outside, inside, dirt. He'll just call every pitch, and that's what it is. Literally, I'm like, this is the craziest thing. This guy is like, yeah, this is what I would throw. And then it's that exact pitch. He's like, told you. He's like, all right, he's going to take this. Batter takes it. Like just.
Well, you were just talking about when the counts line up. What type of game's going on?
Yeah.
What type of batter he's facing? Like you gotta really
certain
approaches
it really
are
matters for sure. So I think it's cool though. I think it'll advance the game. Like you said, it brings another element to it. I mean, baseball's already kind of a thinking game. So you're like, okay, do I save these for crucial moments when I got I got runners in scoring position, I got one out. And they just called a borderline pitch. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use it here. Or you just save it till you get a really bad call from an ump and you're like, I'm going to use it here. Like, whatever.
I mean, I think it's that has to come from the catcher, the pitcher, or the batter.
Yeah.
So
can't be the dugout.
The dugout can't scream over, I want to see that pitch challenge. The batter has to make the decision. So as a batter, your rules are like, okay, if they're going to have scenarios like, if we're down 1 run and we're in this bottom of the 6th, we're the home team, right? So we're going to, or top of the 6th, we're the home team, so we bat last, right? So from that inning on, we can challenge the pitch we want to see.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with you guys. I don't want to just use it the whole.
I wouldn't want to go completely robot strike zone. I think that's a little much because that eliminates the human element of baseball, which
NFL has, NBA has, every sport has the human element. And you take that away from it, you make the game a video game.
It's just robotic. It just takes away the authenticity, I think, of the game.
I'm ready to see how the head coaches are going to be on these umpires now. When they're missing calls at the end of the game, they call the ABS now. You've been missing all day.
Yeah, these umpires are going to be super sassy though.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts about baseball is when
come on, Blue.
Yeah. You finally get that bad call, and the umpire or the head coach just starts walking out there.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be action.
Yeah, I like that. I want like baseball. My favorite part of baseball is like watching the fights. Like if they actually someone pegs someone, and I like go back and watch greatest baseball fights of all time. That's what I like to see.
Get back to Nolan Ryan.
Oh yeah, just getting after him. Or who was it? Lindor for the.
No, Odor.
I'm sorry.
Jose Batista.
Yeah, Odor, and he just got him nasty style.
That was legendary.
Yeah, the most recent one I remember was that. What was his name on the Indians? What was his name again? I forgot.
Oh, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, J Ram on that fight. That was a good.
They were legit.
It was J Ram and Anderson.
Yeah, Tim Anderson.
Yeah, it sounded like a straight call from a boxing match. You gotta hear it, Cat.
Yeah,
he was like,
no way.
So, he dropped him, and it was like, down goes. They literally squared up, and the umpire looked at them, and he backed off.
He was like, hey, let him.
He's like, I'm gonna stop.
They turned into hockey real quick.
Someone knocks out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, also speaking of baseball, and then I want to talk about hockey real quick because I finally became a hockey fan because of USA, and then no more. But we got in there Vlad Jr. not re-signing with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they were. I guess he was trying to work a deal to re-sign with them. He's their young star, first baseman, and
home run derby champ.
Home run derby champ, great hitter, good first baseman too, and. Yeah.
Good hitter like his dad. I don't know his dad what position played.
Yeah, his dad was outfielder.
How do you feel about him at first, Ray?
I think he's great. I think he's a really good first baseman. But I think the biggest thing was he tried to stay in Toronto. He said he was trying to work with them, and I guess him and the agents in Toronto didn't get even close to where he was trying to be at. So he's like, all right, whatever.
So he's still there for right now.
He's still there for this year, and then after this, he's gone. So he'll be a free agent.
They can't come in. They can sign mid-season, can they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like any,
Yeah, but he said he's done. He's done negotiating with him.
When you're that far off.
Yeah, he said
There's
they
a
weren't
part
even
of
close.
trying to be low ball someone, high ball someone, and you just when you low ball them that hard, you're like, oh, that's my worth to you.
Yeah, and he said I even came down off my original offer. He said I came in with an original number that obviously I'm going to want top dollar, but he's like I even came off that quite a bit, and he's like we just couldn't. They weren't even close. So
is it weird to me? And this is all sports with money, like why do you make $50 million? Like that's enough to supply forever and ever and amen. Like I guess me, if I was this stud athlete, which I'm not, which I've never been at the apex of anything as far as athleticism goes, except for tearing my ACL. I'm the champion at tearing my ACL, 3 ACL tears. But like Tom Brady won all those championships so great. They're never gonna remember him taking pay cuts. Right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna look back and I would trade my 7 Super Bowl rings in if I had taken another
50 more million
or 150 more million.
Yeah.
I'm just like, do you not look at it and you go, hey, and look at Shohei Ohtani. I know he's getting paid, but they deferred it. But he still came with the creative ability. Like, how can we win? How can we get the most players on the team? And how can I still get paid?
Yeah.
And like, maybe I just don't understand that.
So me and my coworker, who's a Cowboys fan, and my boss is a Cowboys fan, they always argue about Dak taking that money. And my coworker's like, well, if somebody offered you this much, like, are you not going to take it? Like, are you not going to take what you're worth? But then my boss is like, well, do you not want to win and establish an actual image instead of being remembered as a guy who was overpaid and just didn't do anything with that money?
Yeah, I think it's I think we've all kind of had our side talks about this too, is like would you rather be remembered for winning a lot of championships or making a lot of money? So I mean it just kind of depends. I think all of us would kind of lean towards the championships just because you want to be seen as a GOAT in your respective sport. So I think that's kind of the way I would go at least. I think is I would sacrifice a few million to win some championships, which I think it's crazy that a lot of these young stars are just like let me get my money. But also on the flip side though, it's like
there's no loyalty in organizations.
Yeah, exactly. There's that
We've
flip
seen
side
that this last week with we go back to the Luka trade, like there's no loyalty.
Yeah, that's
they
the other
literally
thing.
one of the reasons I saw reading was like one of the reasons the Mavs wanted to get rid of him was they did not want to sign him to a supermax.
That's insane.
And so they're like, we might as well just get somebody for it. We don't want to have to pay him all that money when we go get 3 or 4 pieces. But when a different sport than baseball, when it comes to basketball, you could have 2 or 3 good dudes and go win a championship.
Oh yeah, I think you need 2 solid dudes, like 2 all-star level guys, and you can win a championship.
Oh yeah, I say
NBA.
look at the Nuggets. They got who seemed washed up, Aaron Gordon, right? It seemed like he was washed up done in Orlando. They brought in KCP as a shooter. Then they had Jamal Murray and they had Jokic. And they went. No one, I can't remember anyone talking like they're gonna win a championship the year they won it.
Man,
it was about midway through the season. Like
they're like,
okay,
these guys can play.
They're good.
I used to hate on the Nuggets. I thought Jokic would never take them there. But then that boy, he shut me up that season. Ever since then, though, he's been a top player, like top 2 every year for me.
Yeah,
1 or 2 for sure.
So, I guess we'll still kind of go into the weekend review. We got just a few more things. I wanted to talk about the NBA All-Star Game. We're going to switch a little bit of sports here. Yeah. We're just going to go back and forth. Everybody's saying that the All-Star Game, NBA All-Star Game, is done for. It's trash. There's no value in it. Draymond Green had some crazy take on it. So, what do you think?
Yeah,
I like the All-Star. I think they should just go back to East and West and just let it rock. But I appreciate that they're trying something new, try and see, what's going on and whatnot. But I like the classic East and West. Just put a little more money on it or something. Add like an incentive to the people. But
yeah, I personally like Draymond's take on it when he talked about you're really diminishing the value of being an all-star whenever you bring these future guys to come up and play on the all-star court and against them. Like that's just kind of devalues everything. Like those guys haven't really earned that spot to be on the all-star floor, So I'm with Draymond. I also like I would rather it go back to it being important. Kind of how I wish baseball would go back to it too, where like you had World Series or NBA Finals complications aligned with it. So like the winner gets home court advantage.
That's what the one thing you told me. They don't do that. MLB doesn't anymore.
Mm-mm.
See, that's what I think. If you're gonna make the All-Star game, no one's gonna play for $100,000. I mean, that sounds terrible, but like these, especially NBA players, you're making $50 million a year, $60 million a year. Like, okay, what's $100,000?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
when you could go and say, okay, winner East or West gets home court advantage. Okay, well, it's a different thing because now we want our best of the West and your best of the East to have some kind of advantage, especially if you're like the Celtics or the Cavs or who's at the top of the West, Oklahoma City and is it Denver or who's the second seed in the West? Oklahoma City.
I can't think of the West.
Nuggets
right
are the
now.
3 seed. Timberwolves are the 4 seed. Lakers are 5. Who's 2?
I know Memphis is up there.
Memphis is 2. The
Memphis
Grizzlies
is
are a
2.
2 seed. I'm almost positive they're the second.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Did I get the rest of that right?
OKC, Memphis, Denver, Lakers, Houston.
Houston just dropped, I guess, because the Lakers won last night. Yeah. I'm just like, go to it says, okay, here's the All-Star game. Winner gets home field advantage. Loser doesn't.
Yeah.
And especially in baseball because they do 2-3.
Yeah.
They do 2-3-1-1-1.
Yeah. Yeah. 2.
So
yeah.
2, the home field advantage gets 2, right?
Yep.
And then 3.
Then 3 on the road. Then 2 back. No. Then 1 at home. Then 1 on the road. 1 back at home.
Yeah. It's almost like, it's
NBA is 2-2-1-1, right?
Yeah. 2,
Yeah.
2, 4, 1, 1, 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
NFL is just 1.
But-
Could you imagine a series?
Oh no!
They're supposed to be dead.
A month. The Super Bowl would be a month
There's
long.
No way.
Yeah, like who's gonna win this week? Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be funny, bro.
That would go nuts.
Madden simulation.
Yeah,
That'd be crazy though.
what they do, and then they make like in the middle week, they like, okay, you gotta play each other on Madden. They just like tie everything in. That's so funny. No, but yeah, I think the All-Star game. I think it brings the value of what the All-Star game is. It lowers it.
Yeah. And then I think also KD kind of transitioning. I think KD also was like, well, why don't we just get rid of it all since everybody keeps complaining about all this? He's like, let's just get rid of the NBA the All-Star week since if everybody's just gonna complain about it, just let the players take a week rest and then get back after it. So, but I personally like seeing the best stars out there at the time. I know another thing that came up was LeBron sitting out, but I want to see the best guys out there, and that's what an All-Star game should be. Mm-hmm. It should be the best guys in the league going at it for something, not just for fun.
LeBron sat out, but so has Shaq, so has Kobe.
Yeah,
like,
and nobody said anything
no
about.
one said nothing.
Nobody said anything about Ant sitting out too.
Yeah, Giannis
Ant
sat out too.
Yeah,
so,
Giannis sat out. It's just because he didn't put his uniform on. They're like, oh, look, and then I'm like, someone brought pictures. Like every big star has done it. It's just like, y'all need to chill.
Speaking of the All-Star game, though, that could have been the last time I ever see Wemby play.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, yeah, blood clot in
Blood clots in his shoulder.
It's like the Chris Bosh.
I hope not. I hope he's good.
I hope so not either.
That's because
They
the
said
Spurs.
it was a little different than what Chris Bosh had. And Wemby's younger too, so. Well, I guess it was around. Was it around?
Nah.
No, he's younger.
Chris Bosh was 2015, so he was already 29.
He got drafted
30.
in 03.
So he was like 28, 30.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But he was still in his prime. I mean, he just came off a
Yeah.
year where he dropped 20 points per game.
He was an
And then-
all-star that year, too.
and they were like, okay, LeBron left. They had Dwayne Wade, and they still had Chris Bosh just re-upped. And, I mean, they were definitely still in a position to go win basketball games, and you get that. And he came back and tried to play like 2 or 3 games, and he couldn't. It was just like life. That sucks. Just what a career. Just
It's so crazy too to have blood clots when he's like that. Like he's so tiny,
Yeah.
like skinny. Like
yeah,
Wemby.
healthy.
Yeah, young, healthy.
It's the weirdest
I mean,
thing.
he's the supreme athlete playing basketball, and you have blood clots like
I was
that.
just watching. I was watching
crazy.
the Olympic NBA documentary, and I was just telling Layla like how good he's gonna be, and that he's the young. I think he's one of the youngest players to
He's
reach.
21 right now.
Yeah, he's like He's like
Just turned 21 in
crazy.
January.
youngest to like have a certain amount of rebounds and blocks all time. Like this guy's gonna finish the most blocks of all time. I mean, and then he's hurt, so it's like
In such a great dynasty, too, with the Spurs. They know how to.
They were just starting it up too. They
Popovich
just got
is out,
Fox.
too.
I saw. Yeah,
I
you
think
called
he-
it.
yeah,
You
I
called
called
it.
it.
You're
Yeah.
like, hey, if Wemby's out, or he's like he's Pop's gonna be done.
yeah. And I guess he had a stroke in November.
Yeah, he had a stroke, and that's what sidelined him. And then they had the interim coach, who was just like their assistant coach. and he hasn't came back since. At first, he wasn't traveling. I think he was just only there for the home games, and then now he's just kind of not even there at all.
That sucks. Maybe he could work in the front office. They love him there. But yeah, I said Wemby. I said if they don't win, they don't make the playoffs, or something happens to Wemby this year. I think they'll just
He'll just
cut ties in the most respectful way and say we gotta.
And Pop really was gonna leave the year before we drafted Wemby.
Yeah.
That's what the whole rumor was. But then when we drafted Wemby, he wanted to stay and coach him up, and he stayed that year with his rookie season.
And he still, I mean, he may not be. I don't know what his ego is like, but he may still coach with them, just not be the head coach. He might just be a player developmental guy. I mean,
I think he'd be down to do that.
Kind of step back, be like the Mark Jackson role, kind of for Golden State.
Yeah,
Warriors.
or even like take on a role like who's the Miami Heat's owner?
The owner?
Or
Pat Riley?
Pat Riley. He's the owner of the GM. He's a GM, but he was a head coach, won, and started taking that role step back.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was a phenomenal coach. So you see that, like we said, talking about LeBron, mentioned back LeBron. The LeBron hate this year is crazy, and I mean, just so disrespectful. Hey, I got a hot take when we get to our segment about LeBron. But anyways, LeBron hate all-time high. I got a post here that I saved. It's talking about LeBron not playing due to ankle soreness, and this guy's talking about many people admit, but LeBron is single-handedly responsible for the downfall of the NBA. I just thought this was so funny. He's just talking about top 2 all time. He says he's not going to deny that, but he's like, he just chunks threes. He's started load management, all this stuff. Like, he did all that. I'm just like, yo, that is some crazy
He
hate.
started chunking threes?
I guess. He said
That's a wild thing.
They
we need
just
to get that guy on the podcast.
Yeah,
so we got to talk to him because
they just hate him because
Clips legacy. He's a Clippers fan. That's why he hates the Lakers.
I just don't get all the LeBron hate. Like, I'm just like, whenever he's gone, I think people are going to realize, like, you should have appreciated more of what we're seeing.
yeah.
Oh,
Because it's like,
absolutely.
you're witnessing an all-time great. Like, bro, he's literally the best at everything. Like, he's the highest IQ player. Like, he facilitates the ball. And people hate on him because they say he doesn't take that big-time shot all the time, or they hate on him because he
Not
passed the ball
clutch.
to Ray Allen, but that was the right play.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to be mad at him for making the right play?
Did that tie the game or put him in the lead?
It tied him.
Tied it.
It tied it. So yeah, okay, he gets
Against
the
the
ball
Spurs.
and he drives it in the hole.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're having a foul. We're back down by 3. I mean, there's just so many things.
Yeah.
And I saw another thing. I think you might appreciate this as a pretty NBA fan, but I saw this guy took the stats of LeBron and said if he shot on average as many shots as Michael Jordan and Kobe, and usually when people put up more shots, he said their splits about 90% of the time stay the same, so in and out and everything like that. He said he would have been a 12-time scoring champion. He would have had the highest points per game average at 33.5 points per game, and he would have broken the record 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, just because he plays he plays
it the right way.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's not got that killer mentality because we've seen him. I mean, against the Warriors, down 3-1. We just forget that happened. That's the craziest thing.
How much more killer can you get? You know, being down 3-1. Nobody's
Against
ever
a
done
73-9 Warriors
Nobody's
team.
ever done that.
And you say, "Oh, is that what he said?" Okay, that's funny. And then he comes back and smacks you.
And drops 50 on him. And, I'm
And
like,
he just
bro,
plays.
what?
Yeah, it's
So
just
I've
crazy.
always respected about Bron. When I was younger, I used to say Jordan was the GOAT, but if there was a fantasy draft, I would still pick LeBron because, in my opinion, Jordan just had like this untouchable legacy. But now that I look at LeBron more and that I've been watching him like since he's been in the league since before I was born.
You were in diapers,
Yeah,
before you were
I was
born.
born.
Yeah.
He got drafted in 2003 and I was born in 2004.
That is nuts.
That's crazy.
2000 and that's crazy.
But
That
yeah.
is nuts, right?
But I think now after he broke that record, it's just like, what else could LeBron do to prove to anybody that he's not the GOAT? It doesn't matter about final records anymore or what Jordan did for the game in the 90s because whatever he did was pretty nice. I mean, he was an icon back then, but people just, it's a different time in the world right now, and LeBron is what Michael Jordan was in the 90s.
Yeah, I think LeBron is what Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson or anybody is. I mean, LeBron has been a transformative player in the NBA. When you're 17 years old in high school and they compare you to Michael Jordan and the standard is here, his ceiling was so high, and in every way he's met it. He's won a championship at every organization he's played at. There are teams in the NBA that still don't have titles.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic don't have an NBA championship, and they came in.
Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz. I mean, and these are teams that have been in the league longer than LeBron's been in the league.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that he's gone to 3 different teams and he's won everywhere he's gone. He's brought a championship. What has he not delivered Okay, I'm sorry he doesn't take as many shots as. I'm sorry if I took a fantasy draft and said draft your all-time starting 5, I wouldn't draft Michael Jordan because no one else would get the ball. No one else would get the ball. Literally, no one else would get the ball. It'd be give it to Michael, and just watch the shots. I mean, that's just not good basketball anymore. The level of athletes that there are in all sports across all baseball, football, basketball, because now people are like, okay, if I train my kid, this is crazy. Basically, parents are farming their kids to make them millions.
People are more specialized in sports nowadays.
Absolutely. People are making millions training people to play basketball or football or baseball. And it's like, okay, because of that, the talent level has gone so much higher. Where versus, okay, I had a guy that, like Steve Kerr. Okay, he was good. He had good IQ knowledge. He could shoot really well. But would I think he'd make it in an NBA draft today?
No.
No one's drafting a scrawny white kid.
He's staying in college for 5 years.
He's getting
he's getting
NIL money. He's got 8 years of eligibility.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. But it's because the talent level is so high. So when people are like, oh, well, the offensive numbers are so much higher, I'm like, yeah, because the field goal percentages are higher, the 3-point shots are higher.
Better athletes.
Just all the way across better athletes, all the way across everything.
That's what I was going to say about how people complain about today's defense. It's just like you can't stop certain shots. Like KD. Imagine KD in the 90s.
My God. In the Olympics. You see that in the Olympics?
That new documentary.
Yeah, he
makes
came out
every shot,
and he was
bro.
on the bench with a calf injury. And like, we need a spark here. That fool shot 7 of 7 off the rip with people in his face. It just...
What team was it? Serbia or France? They were like,
Serbia.
Don't worry about anybody else. Stop letting KD score. He came out and scored 7 of 7.
Yeah,
you just can't stop that. I mean, how do you stop him? He's a 7-foot shooter.
And that goes for all
the
the new guys in the NBA, like Wemby coming up like that, and then you got
Chet Holmgren shooting crazy too.
Yeah. Even these role players would have been nasty in the 90s. Like Nas Reed, who is a 6th Man of the Year candidate, like he's 6'11", he can handle the ball like a point guard. Yeah. He could shoot threes and he could get rebounds and defend. And
it's just a different time, and it's crazy to see LeBron go through pretty much 2 generations now.
So I was gonna say that. Yeah, we were talking about Jordan. Jordan was up here, and LeBron's been up there for like 3 decades.
It's crazy, and it's just like you say, he's gone through 3 different generations of playing. He's early 2000s. It really, if you break down the NBA from 2008 to 2020, it's LeBron's league. Yeah. We'll say his last years have been Jokic. Jokic has kind of ran the NBA.
Yeah,
and there was that year where Curry and the Warriors also, 14, 15, 16, 17 were kind of the face of the league, but it was, can they stop LeBron? Can they beat LeBron? Okay, now they beat LeBron. Now LeBron beat them. Okay, can they beat LeBron? It's just always, and if you ever notice, whatever side of the league he's in, that conference is always the strongest.
Yep.
Always the strongest.
Everybody moves.
Okay, we gotta stop him. We gotta beat him. And for him to lose in the first round for the first time 2 years ago or last year, or whenever it was, like,
2 years ago,
that's crazy.
Remember, he was in the finals for 10 years straight. You remember
that's
that?
Crazy.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah, I think it was since he joined the Heat or like something like that. Every year he was in the finals.
Yeah, right.
And then I think 1 year with the Cavs he didn't make it in the finals, and that was the year the Raptors made it. I think.
Yeah.
Out of the East.
Yep.
And that was the one time he hadn't been in the finals since he's joined the Heat, I think.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a crazy stat. Imagine playing. And then that just adds to, everybody also says, oh, the load management, this and that. That dude played in 10 straight finals. Like, bro, that's, you know how many games that is? Like, he's playing 100 games a year probably.
Yeah.
Nobody takes into account the postseason games, which are going to be even more strenuous on your body.
And you usually
get shorter off season too.
Let's say shorter off season, and when you get in the playoffs, they go from like a 10, 11 man rotation. They run 8 or 9 minute rotation. They're not running
playing 40 minutes.
No, yeah, absolutely, 100%. You're playing 40 minutes without a shadow of a doubt. You are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the biggest thing in the NBA is just trying to fight the media of saying, well, it was nothing like the 90s. The 90s are over.
Yeah.
That's like me saying, oh, Magic and Bird, that was really the best basketball ever. There was 2 stars, Magic and Bird and Kareem. Like, it's going to progress, and I think the media of NBA is killing the sport in itself.
Yeah.
And I think baseball can be the same way.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times baseball, I think NFL is probably the only thing I've seen where they congratulate others for being good. Like, there's not like this generational gap. Like, I don't really see anybody in the NFL saying like Patrick Mahomes is terrible or he sucks, or not saying like he can't live up to the hype. It's always like, oh, let's see who's going to pass the torch.
Yeah.
But in NBA, it's like, you'll never be as good as Jordan. You'll never be good as this. And in baseball, it's like, oh, back in the day, Barry Bonds, and he'll never be as good as these guys. Roger Clemens, and all these guys. It's just like it feels like they tear each other down versus building the sport up.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think, like you said, a lot of the media plays into that. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And
I think
you also get a lot of people that never really played sports that kind of dictate the way that things are being
don't have a
said.
bearings to say anything really.
I think with basketball though, it's because it's been the newest grown sport, so they ain't never had the best athletes. Like football, like you can name some teams on the '90s that had like real guys who would still do good today. And same with baseball.
Bo Jackson right now.
Yeah, and same with baseball. Like I feel like they even had guys back then who would still do good in today. It's just low key with pitching how it's been recently. Is like that velo that all these new guys have is just insane.
I think in baseball too. I think the talent is crazy. You used to be able to have starters like Greg Maddux throw 88, and I'm not saying like he's not great because he is. I mean he can move the ball and put it wherever we want it, but at the same time he wasn't throwing 99 as a starter, which is insane. So I think athletes now are just so much better. It's crazy. Like the talent is insane, and I think it goes back to like what you said. It's these parents are really specializing in sports. I think growing up, most of us grew up playing multiple sports or into multiple sports. Nowadays, they start them at like 6 years old. They put them in a travel ball, and they put them into specialized camps and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's just going to keep getting more and more crazy.
And almost
as far as athletes, I saw this thing. There's a pitcher. A 15-year-old in California throws 99 miles an hour, 97, something like that. Yeah, insane as a 15-year-old. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like what's that, bench warmers?
And I think also
12 and he's got $20. He's like, looks good.
I think also like with how much these younger cats are like being spotlighted, it makes these kids also like really want that. So them and their parents kind of connect on a way to just like push them the hardest. Because like I mean, baseball, they honestly spotlighted a lot of young guys. Like Max Clark was in high school, and he was like probably the biggest name.
Yeah, but he kind of did his own thing though. Like he self-marketed himself really. So he's with the Tigers right now. He got drafted by the Tigers.
Third overall, I think.
He started big off like vlogging and YouTube and that kind of stuff. So he kind of self-promoted himself. But I see what you're saying.
All the kids
then
look
Max
at that.
Preps started like hyping him up too. Which I mean that's kind of where everything's going to be going is like
And then they got all these big travel ball teams like the Pottstown,
the Canes. The Canes.
They follow all these travel ball teams, and you see all the 14U kids or 15U kids. They get their own spotlight, and all these other kids see that, and they're like, I want to be there, So they kind of lock in on a sport and just try and go be their best at it. It's pretty fire.
There's a lot that y'all just said that I'm just like, I'm worrying. I'm just processing. I know it's weird for me to be this quiet for that long. I'm just processing. I was just thinking about baseball, and since we're on the topic, one of the things I wrote down was like the importance of spring training. Talked a little bit about it this week at work, and just like I was telling Ray, like, how do you play 30 spring training games, 162 regular season games? That puts you at 92. Then if you play postseason, I mean, let's say you play 8 postseason games. You play 200 games that year.
Yeah.
And then you get a small break.
2 month break, really.
I mean, I'm just like, and, I mean, I guess MLB's like, I guess the owner's like, well, we're paying them all this money, might as well play them like crazy. But
well, I have a theory. So when this past couple weeks, I played in the AC Intramural Basketball League. For some reason, we did double elimination. And I never heard of that in a basketball tournament.
No, that's definitely strange.
But I was thinking about like baseball. Like I used to go to Raymond's tournaments. They'd play the whole day. And I'd see like a double elimination. They'd get eliminated. Then they'd go to like a loser's bracket. Yeah. And it was just like kids can play. Like someone could play baseball all day, I bet.
Yeah, it's definitely a less like physically straining game. But it's definitely tiring though.
Well,
I mean, playing you definitely got to make sure you got your Gatorades on deck.
I always say baseball athletes are kind of like divas. Just a little bit diva.
A little bit.
Like, oh no, my shin guard fell off.
Yeah. Even around here though, I mean, softball's not close to baseball when you get to that high of a level, but there's guys who play softball tournaments. They play like 2 a.m.
Yeah, they have the Halloween Hell here around
Yeah,
here that
I'm like-
they play at midnight.
They play at midnight.
The games start at midnight, and them
All right,
dudes
we're
don't
signing up for
finish
that.
till
They
like
sleep in their
1
cars and they
in the
wait.
afternoon the next day.
Yeah, they sleep in their cars, wait until their game, and then
Yeah.
they go play their game at like
That's
4 in the morning.
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. And I mean, baseball is a less strenuous game, but I mean, still the mental capacity to play, to be locked in a season for 200 games is crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were kind of talking about it like spring training, like, do you really need it? And I was kind of saying, well, most of the stars don't really play. I mean, they'll play an inning or two, get 1 or 2 at bats. And it's really mostly side work for them. It's really for the young guys to really try and make a name for themselves.
Yeah,
But
it's good for the farm guys because
Yeah.
I follow a lot of guys who are still coming up, and it's just like they're excited to be in a major league.
And the uniform, I guess.
Yeah,
You get drafted by a team, you're actually in
yeah,
their actual uniform.
They're in the real
and-
clubhouse, even though they're not at the real stadium. Sometimes they play in Florida. Most
Yeah.
teams.
kind of rolling into our new topic. Thanks for everybody that commented on the Instagram post. If you're listening, keep an eye out for our Instagram post where you can interact with us. We're going to answer some of these hot takes that we did on Thursday. We got a segment called Heat Check Thursdays. So,
Yeah.
Basketball?
yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, just heat check.
So, yeah.
Shooter than that hoop over there. Oh, there wasn't actually a hoop there.
The wrong hoop, but I almost made it.
But we got some good takes. We started off hot. Some crazy takes in here. One that we're gonna kind of save for the end. But just want to shout out. I'm just gonna pick one and kind of go from there. And then yeah. So I'm gonna start with my boy Zach Murphy. Went to college with him at Midland.
Shout out Zach. What's
Shout out
his
Zach.
handle? Shout out his handle.
Murphy Zach _ Shout out him on Instagram.
Official.
He said Shedeur Sanders' ceiling is Jets Geno Smith. What do you guys think about that?
See, I literally just said last week in the pod that he low-key reminds me of Geno Smith a little
Yeah.
bit. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Jets Geno Smith. Maybe Seahawks Geno Smith. But
a little bit better.
I think that's not. I mean, you never know until these guys get in the
That's
NFL.
true. But
so.
I went back and watched some. Now that we're having this podcast, I feel like I need to make sure I'm like
On top of your
Knowledgeable.
I'm not being a homer. I'm not being a homer because I want to say, like Quinn Ewers. Anyways, Arch Manning. I think Shedeur has a very, 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 very high floor and a very, 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 very low ceiling. I don't think there's a lot of improvement with Shedeur. So I think because there's only 2 really good quarterbacks coming out of the league, they're in the top 2 for a reason. But I truly believe that he's only going to be in the league for 8 to 10 years, maybe. And then they're not good years.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to go to an organization that loves the name Sanders, so he gets drafted to the Giants. I mean, they signed Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
And then he was playing
Or
safety
the
on the practice
Browns,
squad.
or you know what I'm saying. So I think he goes in and he's an average starter. I think he is an Andy Dalton type. Maybe gets to the playoffs a couple times. Has some good teams, but just can't get over the hump. And I think that's a really, really low, or really, really high floor, which most guys prefer to have a really, really low floor, but a really, really high ceiling.
Yeah.
So I think you're not going to miss with him, but I don't think you're going to pick him up and he's going to be. And now we could look back this in a year
And be wrong.
and I'll be absolutely wrong because I said Justin Herbert was the worst pick anybody, but it's slowly turning around to where it seems
yeah,
like
I mean-
the more and more I watch, the less and less I like.
Yeah.
But I think Shadeur's got a very, very, like I said, really, really high floor. But a really, really low ceiling. So there's not a lot of improvement to me in there. I think he's got an issue with reading defenses. Looking back at it, super accurate. But if they
Holds
blitz,
the ball too long.
yeah, I would say if they blitz or they drop and they rush 3, he doesn't know what to do with the ball.
Yeah.
He starts. And I saw that at Colorado.
Improvising.
You're playing Big 12 teams. I'm sorry, they don't have good defenses. Big 12. We were in there as Texas Longhorns. Never once you say, man, the Big 12 defense is going to kill you. No, it was like, can you outscore a Big 12 team?
Yeah.
Look at Tech. Tech literally could have been in the playoffs. They had the most points scored in Big 12 play, and also allowed the most points.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I think it's just he's
Yeah.
won everywhere he's gone, but.
I can kind of see the Geno Smith comparison, like you said. His dad he's been coached since the beginning, so it is going to be hard to get more out of him because he's already been training at an elite level. So,
Yeah.
I could see where you're saying his ceiling or his floor is already high. He's probably the most NFL-ready guy just based off of all that training and that kind of stuff. But, again, how much more can he really improve?
Yeah.
And now maybe some of the holding the ball and that kind of stuff may be because he was trying to be Superman with the bad O-line.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to make a play, right? Like you can't just hold the ball. And he took so many sacks. Instead of those sacks, he should have thrown the ball away,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of one thing he's going to have to learn and kind of live with. But I like Shadur. Me and Sammy kind of we were high on him. I was really high on him as a college quarterback.
Yeah.
And you can be a great college quarterback and not translate to the NFL like Tim Tebow.
It happens so many times.
It happens a lot. So I mean, I think I'm not as high as him in the NFL as I was in college, but it just kind of like it kind of goes into like you're not facing the top defenses every week.
Yeah.
Like in college, you're like you said going against Big 12 defenses. You're going to put up numbers. So. But he's very accurate. That's one thing. Super accurate. I think you brought it up last week or the week before that he's the most accurate quarterback of all time in college football. So I'm excited to see where he goes, though. I think it'll be pretty cool. I think he'll be all right. But, again, how long will he be all right? Because he doesn't – how much more can he grow?
Yeah.
Can he get to be more – like even more elite?
But that's the thing in the league, though, is quarterbacks – at that point, is just how well can you read the defense and execute the game plan. So we'll see how he works like that.
Yeah,
and he's got a great friend in Tom Brady.
yeah,
and
for sure.
That's one thing, I guess, with Tom Brady. He said that, I wasn't necessarily the most talented, the most gifted, but mentally I was prepared. And, I mean, to be a good quarterback in the league, 70% of it is a mental game.
Yep.
I mean, you can be a subpar thrower and have subpar accuracy, but if you can know where to just put the ball in the zones and when to throw it, you can do really, really well. So, but like I said, for Shador to be Geno Smith comparison, I don't know about Jets. Yeah, I would say maybe like
the Seahawks.
Maybe last year's Geno Smith, like lots of passing yards, just not very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna sling the rock. We know that he's not scared to throw the ball. But I try to think of a better comp. I would say like Andy Dalton would be. I mean, my comp.
Yeah.
Who just re-signed with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Big Red.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, shout out Zack. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the hot take. Do you guys want to pick one out?
Okay, you read them. You
want me to read them out? Okay. I'm just picking them out. Perfect. All right. We're gonna do. Let's go after this one right here. Evan Ortega, our homeboy Evan. Instagram is Evan Ortega _. He said Dirk is top 5 best big man of all time.
What you think? I think he's definitely top 3 power forward of all time. I kind of got in a debate with my coworker. He said Dennis Rodman should be number 3. What do y'all think about that?
Dennis Rodman? I mean Dennis Rodman was a great defender, but yeah.
When we say big man, are we saying power forward?
Well, when you say big man, you got to add in the centers too. But I think Dirk is. If you're saying power forwards, the top 3 in any order should always be Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki.
I'm good with that. I agree with that.
And whichever order you want to put them in.
I'm really Dirk over KG because Dirk won a championship.
Yeah, I like Dirk over KG.
So KG?
Huh?
KG won a chip with the Celtics.
Yeah, with the Celtics.
Yeah.
With the big 3. That's the original big 3.
Yeah, but Dirk
did it with
Jason
Dirk did it by himself.
And he had one of the hardest.
He played against I know LeBron that was the one like bad thing about LeBron was that 2011 finals, but he didn't have any help.
He played the Lakers that year in the series too.
And the Lakers were crazy.
Kobe and Pau Gasol.
Mm-hmm. So
I think they even had Steve.
But when you say big man, okay,
yeah,
so
we're saying top 5. I mean, he's definitely top 3 power.
Yeah,
he's definitely top 3 power forward, right? But now if you bring in big men,
all
Shaq,
power forward center, Shaq number 1.
Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem the Dream.
I'm not a big Hakeem fan, but I'll put him in my top 5 just because.
You got to respect Hakeem though, because he won the 2 years that Jordan was gone. He won back-to-back those times when Jordan was gone, and that was still when Karl Malone was playing.
That's because Jordan was gone,
and Charles Barkley. But he was the next guy up.
That's like
if LeBron left the league when he was on the Heat, who would have won next? KD.
Well, would you put? Are we putting Jokic up there yet, or is it?
Well, that's
there's another hot take in there.
We can combine these guys. What's the other hot take?
Is there no
from
one?
Corb Mart?
I think someone said Jokic also.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Corbin Martinez,
but
Corbin Martinez, that's Sammy's friend. Corb Mart is his Instagram handle. He said Jokic is already a top 15 player of all time. That's any position though.
Okay,
he's talking
about all time.
Okay, big man. Let me just list my big men out. Okay, Shaq number 1, most dominant player could play in any place.
Diesel.
The Diesel. I mean, no one can stop him. I'm gonna go Shaq. I'm gonna go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Mr. Goggles.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan at 3.
Timmy D.
I'm not putting Bill Russell up here.
About Wilt.
I'm not putting Wilt up here.
His fake 100.
Yeah.
That's not real. That's not
He
real.
benched 500
Yeah.
and he ran a sub 440.
So Shaq, who did I say? Shaq,
You said Kareem,
Kareem,
and then you said Tim
Tim
Duncan.
Tim Duncan. And we're saying Dirk top 5.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. I'll put Dirk at my 4th because he revolutionized the
The position.
Being able to shoot.
being able to shoot and be a power forward.
Uh-huh.
And he was the first actual overseas European player to come and be successful at being a starter and doing that.
Stuck with his team too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was loyal. I mean, number 5. Man, that's a tough one. There's a lot of names.
I'd say KG. I'd put
KG. I don't know why, but I don't really like Kevin Garnett that much. He was great. He was dominant.
I just feel like we're not gonna see a KG again because of how he acted. Like he was the dog on the court and he fought for everything and he trash talked everybody.
I'm going Dwight Howard. I'm going Dwight Howard.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Look at the Magic team that he took to the finals. I know he didn't win, but
he had a short prime.
He had a short prime, but I mean, he was literally second coming of Shaq. He was
Superman, man.
Blocks. He won Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he could do it all. I'm gonna put Dwight Howard there. That's probably a bad take. It's a hot take.
He's one of the best.
He checked
He's one of the better players if you just took their prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a prime window from 08 to 13 before he went to the Lakers and then the Rockets. He was even decently with the Rockets, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a bad take. What about you? Top 5 big men.
I'd probably put KG there. I think people forget when he was on the Timberwolves what he was doing for that squad. And there were so many good players. There was Chris Webber on the Kings that he had to fight for. There was so many good players. I mean, Tim Duncan, old
also,
Pistons.
I want to put Kevin Love in that list, on my power forward list. Full as nasty.
See, but KG was.
What about Bosh?
Oh yeah, Bosh.
No, he had a shorter prime than I don't know.
But he was good on.
Dwight Howard is kind of like my filler. I get in exchange him for a lot of things. I don't want to put I guess you could put Bill Russell at 5 as a big man, but just you played a stacked Celtics team that won 8 championships. Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, all those guys.
Kevin McHale could be a big man. He was power forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so was Larry Bird. I guess he was considered power forward sometimes.
All right. Well, shout out to Evan for that one, and we're gonna roll right into get back to the Corbin Martinez take. Jokic already top 15 player of all time. What do you guys think? All time is kind of crazy. I don't know about that.
Top 3 is obviously gonna be LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq. Top 4. That's my top 4 all time.
How many MVPs has he won in a row? Jokic 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he lost last year, right?
He would have three-peated.
Right?
He would have
I thought
three-peated.
I thought
Embiid won it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
because that would have been the three-peat. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I would be happy with saying Jokic is a top 8 skilled player of all time.
No, you just say top.
But according to legacy and everything, there's so many guys.
He's still young in his career, though. I mean, he's still got at least, I would say, 8
Would y'all say
years
KD
left.
and Jokic are around the same if we're talking top 15 of all time? You think they're around the same level?
I would take KD over Jokic right now, legacy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, KD is just
Kevin
different.
probably my top 10.
Yeah, KD's just different.
Yeah.
I mean, if he didn't get hurt in Golden State and didn't have a weird thing in Brooklyn, I mean, he would be so much further.
Yeah, I don't think Jokic is top 15 right now, all time.
I don't know. I mean,
not right now. I would say maybe a few years. I mean, if they win one more, I think if he wins one more chip, you got to put him up there.
Yeah, players in the top 15 that have none, or maybe one. I don't know. I would say Steph also here has to be in the top 5 of all time. I think Steph literally came in, changed the game, won. I mean, I'm definitely going LeBron, Michael, Kobe, Shaq, Steph, and I'm gonna stand on that. No one else is in the top 5. No one else for me.
I'd be good with that. I mean, that sounds like a solid.
A guy who is 2 guys who are arguably the GOAT, right? I mean, for me, it's LeBron, of course, but besides that, then you got Kobe Bryant, who won in 2 different eras with 2 different big men and played for Lakers forever.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq, most dominant player of all time. I mean, when it comes to domination, that's it. And Steph Curry, who at 6'1", with ankle injuries, came in, changed the whole game, won 4 championships. His name is LeBron.
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
Yeah, but you also got to think like who else is above Jokic too, though. I'd take Larry Bird
Shaq.
over Jokic.
I was gonna pull this
Shaq.
list up right here.
Yeah.
You've got this guy's got this is I don't know where this is from. Some weird blog. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, Stephen Curry, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Kevin Durant, Oscar Robertson, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki. It's a pretty solid list.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, right now I'm not taking him over anybody on that list. I don't know.
I'm taking him over Wilt Chamberlain. I think Wilt Chamberlain. I don't know.
Different era. That's
And,
when he was
like,
playing
also-
real janitors for real.
Yeah.
He was playing against.
I like your list, Kat, but my hot take would be scooch Kobe out and put Tim in there.
Out of the top 5?
Yeah. I
No.
think Tim's
Of all
top
time?
5.
No.
Bro.
No.
I put him at my 6.
Yeah, Tim Duncan's
Hardcore
probably
6.
just barely missing top 5. I think.
But yeah, I think he
you
came
can't
in-
you can't knock Kobe
he
out
won
of that.
one of his championships. He won his rookie year, right? With
David Robinson.
David Robinson. I said Tim Robinson. David
The
Robinson.
Admiral.
So like he came into a good coaching system. I can't blame him for coming to a good coaching system, but
Yeah.
So did Kobe. Kobe came into to the
I
Lakers.
didn't disagree with that at all. But I don't know. I talk about if I wanted one guy to build around a team around, any of those guys I'll take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Yeah.
respectable.
even though I just said Michael Jordan would probably be the last one of the 5 I would take because he'd be a ball hog. I mean, I would take Kobe. I would take LeBron. I would take Steph. I would take Shaq. I would take who was the 5th? I said backwards. LeBron, Kobe,
You're missing Jordan
Michael.
in there.
Jordan, Steph, Shaq. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. I'll take any of those guys before I take anybody else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take KD. I wouldn't take Oscar Robertson. I wouldn't take KG. I wouldn't take Dirk Nowitzki. Maybe Dirk. Maybe Dirk's my only exception because of what he actually did.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Shout out to Corbin again for that hot take. We appreciate all the comments.
Boom, 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 boom.
We need some sound
Soundboard.
effects. Yeah. Moving on into this next one. Gonna stick with basketball. Saucy.Brett
My boy
said,
Brett.
not gonna lie, Wemby top 5 in the league right now. R.I.P.
I would say
That's a hot one.
It got hotter as it got closer to come record this. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I would say
R.I.P.
probably at the time of the comment. I mean, yeah, there's definitely an argument now.
I love
Yeah,
Wemby,
but
but
it's-
he's just got to be a little more consistent. Because some games we still only have 20 wins on the season right now. We're not even top 10.
You're not even
In
are
the
you
West.
500?
I don't know. We're below 500. So it's
Yeah,
hard
you
to
can't
say.
be top 5 in the league.
It's hard to say that,
500.
but I
I know,
see what
Kyrie-
you're saying.
Kyrie was. You could argue Kyrie was top 5 when the Cavs were bad.
Yeah, when he was young,
When he was young.
he was hooping.
You don't think so?
I'm a Kyrie fan too. I love Kyrie, but he wasn't top. He wasn't top
I mean,
anything until LeBron got back over there. As far as talent, I mean, if you're talking like, hey, who could be, like in the next 5 years, who'd be a top 5 player? Yeah, obviously. I mean, we can all say that about anybody, but like top 5 right now, I'm going Jokic, Giannis, LeBron,
What about
SGA.
Tatum?
SGA,
What do you think about Tatum?
The
Jaylen
anomaly.
the anomaly. Jaylen Brown. Yeah, SGA definitely is the best player in the league right now. Hands down, can do it all. Has changed his team. But also, just putting that out there about SGA, look at the teammates he has. He's got Chet Holmgren. He's got Jalen Dort.
Jalen Williams.
No,
Jalen
Jalen Williams.
Williams.
Who's Jalen Dort play for?
That's Lou Dort.
Lou Dort.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
I'm
think he
sorry.
still plays.
Is he for the
Or did he get traded? I don't know if he got
remember,
traded to
but-
the Bulls.
Like he's got a good team, and he's having his best seasons now. But it's taken him 6 years. He's been in the league since 2019. So he's definitely up there. But I wouldn't say Wemby. That's a hot take if you're a Spurs fan.
Yeah. He said, shout out the Spurs fan.
But I think Wemby, I would put him in top 15 of the league.
I love
Yeah.
Wemby. I think he sits around the 8 or 9 for me.
See, okay,
Yeah.
we agree on that.
Yeah.
I'd say top 15 for sure. Especially if he didn't get hurt. He's averaging 25, 10, and 5.
He's just a crazy
He's
talent.
shooting, 50%?
He's leading the
and
league in blocks.
40, leading,
He was going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Would have, bro.
Yep, he would have.
Yeah.
That blood clot
That's
is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Stopping everybody. It doesn't matter.
That's tough. But
Too far, bro. Too far.
shout out to Brett for
Shout
that.
out to Wemby.
Shout out to
Also,
Wemby
my bad,
also.
bro.
We feel bad. We'll send you some Gatorade or something, man.
Just one drink.
Going to the next one, switching it up a little bit, getting into football. We're going to do a pretty easy one, I think. Kind of easy to get into it. Shout out Leah. How do you say her?
Cawthon.
Cawthon. Sammy's girlfriend said Mahomes is the GOAT. What do you guys think?
Incorrect.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that was pretty easy for us. I mean, for me, I would say Tom Brady's obviously hands down the GOAT. Hot take for sure. But what do you guys kind of think?
I'm going to have to side with I'm playing.
I was going to say, you're about to get spanked if you don't.
I think he has potential to be the GOAT.
Still
for
does.
sure.
I think
Oh,
for
yeah.
anybody that says that because he lost this, he doesn't have a chance because he got blown out, I think is a very hot take. Like, oh, he lost by 40 in his ones he's lost. Okay, well, remember when he lost to Tom Brady, so that already gives him edge. It's one of those things that's like, I don't think Patrick Mahomes has to win as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady to become the GOAT. But, I mean, you just got to play at a high level for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
This can't be the downfall
The
Patrick
end.
Mahomes right here. Yeah, if you're done right here, you're I mean, I think Peyton Manning's still better than you. If you end right here,
Yeah.
you peak out right here. I think Peyton Manning is still a better quarterback, or Joe Montana, than Patrick Mahomes. If he peaks out right here, if this next 2 seasons he doesn't do anything, he wasn't even a top 10 statistical quarterback in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's still young, so he's got time. And like you're saying, I mean, if he keeps going on the same trajectory, which I don't think he's going to keep going, it'd be crazy if he did keep going to all these Super Bowls. I don't think he's going to. I think they're starting to catch up to him. Kelsey's about to retire. Yeah. Kelsey's about to retire. Who knows what Andy Reid's going to be doing here soon, next couple years. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough sledding for him to get back. It took Tom Brady 10 years.
10 years. He won in 2004 and then go back to 2014.
Yeah, it took him 10 years to get to the next Super Bowl again. So he's got time. He's good at avoiding injuries and getting tackled or that kind of stuff. So he's
to win one. He went in 2007.
to win one. But I'm saying, like I think he can protect himself and keep that longevity for him. So I think there's a chance he could be the GOAT.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I don't think he's the GOAT. Tom
With
Brady.
this year being so off, I want to say, though, Mahomes eventually, I think when it's said and done, he'll probably be the best quarterback to sling that rock, in my opinion.
When it's
all said and done,
retires,
I think he'll be the most talented quarterback, except for this season was pretty down. If you look at him the past few years, like, he's just been a dog, being able to throw the ball in every single arm angle, every single slot, every single window that opens. Like, he was really just slinging stuff. But this year, he didn't look that good, so kind of diminishes my statement a little bit.
No, I mean I don't think any of these statements were wrong, but the GOAT now, no.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. Well, shout out to Leah for that. Rolling into the next one. Let's see. We'll get into this baseball one real quick. Evan Ortega with another hot take for us. He said,
I'll take master.
yeah, he's a hot
Back
take
to
king.
back.
He said MLB players shouldn't be paid as much as they are right now. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think there's a huge market for baseball. I mean, like they say, it's America's favorite pastime. You got all these squads. I mean, everybody can wear a Yankees ball cap, and that contributes to the MLB, a Yankees T-shirt. And I don't know if y'all have ever tried to buy a baseball jersey, but them things are expensive. That contributes to all that. So I think they're earning the right amount of money. But a lot of people don't understand is they get paid on 10-year, 15-year contracts. So really per year, they're getting paid as much as some of these NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, what's his name? Mike Trout had that 10-year contract, which was crazy, but anywho, it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, like
I think I was looking at Soto's. He's getting paid less per year than Dak Prescott is.
That's kind of crazy. I
believe in a salary cap. I always will be. I think a salary cap is always great because it forces you to sign people and it keeps the league competitive. I'm not saying that baseball isn't competitive, but like right now, who's everybody's favorite to win the title? The Dodgers. Because they went and deferred $1 billion. I don't know how much it was. Hundreds of millions.
600 something million.
Yeah. $600 million. And now he's getting paid $2 million a year. So now they can go sign Freddie Freeman. They just signed all those pitchers. So, like, people are complaining about unfair. I'm like, well, fix the rules.
Yeah.
Go put a salary cap on it, even if the salary cap's high. Even if it's a high salary cap.
Yeah.
So this is the cap that you're going to spend. I mean, what are the Yankees got tied up in contracts per year right now, or the Dodgers? I mean, the Dodgers below. But even if you said, okay, the salary cap's $800 million a year, or $800 million or whatever. I don't know, so don't. If I'm wrong, way off, just correct me in the comments below or whatever. I don't care. But I'll say, like, even if it's put a salary cap on it. It keeps the league competitive. I think it keeps it where it's like, Juan Soto,
It's a
like the
little bit more
NBA.
fair.
In the NBA, like you can sign someone in the middle of the season, even if you're over cap. That's fine. That's where you get negative cap spaces because you can sign someone over the regular season. Well, like, okay, Juan Soto, if he goes out to be a free agent, leave the Yankees, like, okay, well, the only destination I have is the Brewers or the Rockies. I'm going to stay the Yankees. So they sign him. They go negative cap space, but he's on a team that he wants to be at that can win. That's where the competitiveness comes from.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe because there's so many. They have MLB, they have AAA, they've got AA, single A, high A, low A,
Yeah.
and maybe
Rookie ball.
Yeah, you can't have a salary cap with all those players on the team, but then set a cap for
Just the MLB.
MLB and set a cap for your farm
minor-
teams.
Yeah, your farm system.
Yeah, so then if you're going to trade for someone, okay, well, I can't trade for him because I'm going to go over my farm system cap. I think every other successful sport does it.
Yeah.
That's not golf
Yeah.
or tennis.
I mean, as far as them getting paid so much, you got to kind of think baseball is probably the second or third biggest sport in the entire world. I mean, soccer is number one, but yeah, I mean, I'm thinking baseball's number two. I mean, because you got
All these
players in Japan, overseas. I mean,
all the Spanish
territory,
territory,
Dominican Republic,
Puerto Rico, Venezuela.
I mean,
Colombia.
all those Latin American teams. I mean, baseball is huge. So I think that kind of contributes as part of why they're the highest paid is because you have so many people. Like, I know people say baseball's a dying sport and everything, and people don't really watch baseball and this and that, but I mean, those kids that are in those like third world countries do watch baseball, and in Japan, it's huge. And it's just, I think it's just the way that stadiums are kind of run here in America. It's a little bit different than in Japan. Like Japan, they're super loud. Same thing with Latin America. Huge atmospheres. Like World Baseball Classic. That's what really got Kat kind of involved in baseball and really liking baseball is because the atmosphere is like crazy because it's a huge sport.
And that clip of Jokic when he went and played in Serbia,
yeah.
and they were going crazy. I was like,
it's just a different environment, and people, I think, don't realize that
you
baseball.
See some Dominican Republic baseball highlights, Kat. They be hitting
They go
bat
crazy
flips,
and start dancing, start twerking off.
start twerking, running down.
funny.
They go crazy, and the crowd's all into
the other
it.
day at spring training, that flex,
the Rockies kid.
Oh yeah. Hey, shout out to the Rockies. but
yeah, going back to, I think that's why they're paid so much. So I personally think.
Pay to play, pay to win.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I think not so much that. I think the players that get paid, I think they deserve to get paid that because they're the top of the game. So
basically, if you're a good MLB organization, whether you're a small city or big city, if you want more money, go propose to some billionaire. Like, let's get 10 guys together.
Yep.
Like, aren't the Dodgers like split up between 10 different owners or something like that?
Well, I know Magic Johnson's a big part
of
it. I don't know exactly how many different owners they have, but I know they put big money into it to be able to go out and get that. And I mean, that also kind of brings light though to other teams. Why don't you go get out more?
Yeah.
Why don't you go
true.
get more investors?
Go get an investor.
Go be dominant. Go grab those
Look
guys.
at NIL nowadays.
Yeah.
Texas Tech got a huge investor, and now we're top 5 in the portal.
Los Angeles Dodgers are owned by the Guggenheim Baseball Management Group, so it's Mark Walter, Magic Johnson, Todd Bowley, Billie Jean King, Alan Smolinsky, Robert Plummer. So all these guys are.
Multi-millionaires. So, I mean, go get an investor if you really care about winning and wanting to be big. Since there is no cap, go out.
That's a great way to put it too.
Go out and get those guys.
I think that the A's, when they move to Las Vegas, they could definitely be dangerous with how much revenue they're going to generate having a stadium there. And then who doesn't want to be in Las Vegas? Of course, it's this big hub of just massive. Everybody's there. Yeah,
everybody's moving.
So
there.
I mean, it's like the new Silicon Valley almost.
Literally,
and sports betting's there.
Yeah.
Sports, all kinds of sports. You've got. I mean, who knows the investor?
It's a sports hub right now.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. And I haven't looked at it at all since we've been talking about baseball for the last 2 years. Like, go get an investor group.
Yeah,
go get a group together and
take advantage of the fact that there is no cap.
Yeah.
Go out.
You got to fact check me, Kat. When did the NFL salary cap start? Because I think it was in the 90s, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Because I was talking to my coworker about it, and he said it literally started like back when the Cowboys were good, and then that happened, and now
94.
they
Yeah.
couldn't sign everybody.
Yep, 94.
So
That's what they won. Yeah,
And I was also like back then. I mean, you still had teams like the Redskins who were going to the Bills, like you know what I'm saying. So
Well, I mean, that's the biggest brand. So I mean,
Mhm.
like if you have the money, I think that's where baseball is if you have the money, go spend it.
Mhm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I mean, it's just kind of
Thanks for.
a different way to look at it. But
In '94 is when they started it, and it was $34 million to salary cap. Now in 2023, it's $224 million.
oh my
So,
god,
I mean, they haven't been equal increases. Like they increased $25 million from 21 to 22, and then $16 million from 22 to 23.
Yeah, but that's why the Cowboys were winning back then. Cause
Yeah,
they
with
were-
Jerry Jones. I mean, they
He
were
had the
America's
money,
team
yeah.
for a reason. He had the money. He went and bought it, and I mean, and that's the reason probably the reason that what's his face Drew Bledsoe had that massive contract he signed in like 92, 93. It was a 10-year. It was $100 million or something like that.
Elway was in the 90s, right?
Yeah, 80s, mid 80s, 87 to 2000. And
If the NFL abolished the salary cap, who do you think the biggest teams would be?
Patriots, Cowboys.
You think the Patriots would still be though?
Yeah, Robert Kraft has so much money. Oh my gosh, he's one of the only NFL teams that have a plane.
yeah,
Like
Oh, damn.
that's crazy. So
I'm not hip.
and
to
that hits
Mr.
your salary
Kraft.
cap. I did not know that.
Really?
The plane is considered in your
we'll
salary
put the
cap.
G5 on the salary.
Yeah, I guess someone was saying that because Tom Brady made a joke. It was like, oh yeah, let's not talk about that. The plane, because I guess they weren't charged with their salary cap because it's. Anyways, that's why I might be wrong on that too. But
You think
I would
Miami,
Cowboys.
Miami would have a big one?
Miami would be one.
Las
New York.
Vegas.
Las Vegas could. New York, both New York
LA
teams.
teams, you think? You think the
I
Chargers?
don't know.
I don't know.
anybody's
They
got
share a
buy-in
stadium.
like
I don't
that.
think they have
Yeah.
enough money like
Buy-in
that.
like that. Yeah,
San
no.
Fran for sure. San Fran would probably be a big market again.
Maybe.
Yeah. 49ers fans are huge.
It's a historic franchise too, so probably.
The Packers would be the worst team in the NFL. I'm sorry.
They'd
Packers
have
and
it.
Bears.
You know how many
They're
donors
owned
they
by the
have?
city.
Oh,
They're owned by the.
true.
They're owned by the city. Ain't no. You're gonna have
Yeah,
to
but you
get
have-
into.
donors.
You're gonna have to get into some kind of
I guess
privatized.
you start a
wasn't-
GoFundMe for
Yeah, I wasn't trying to
from
slight your team at
from
all.
the owners.
but No one's. I mean, when they. Hey, just saying.
There's donors though, so like a big
Yeah, you get a
Packer
big
alumni. You know,
Yeah,
guys
you get
used to
Aaron
play.
Rodgers to donate his
Okay,
salary.
buddy. I'm donating ayahuasca or whatever it's called.
All right. Well, shout out to Evan for that hot take.
a good take.
Again, we appreciate all the comments. Getting into our last two. Let's see. How do you say his name? Baron Morton
Oh yeah, Baron Morton.
from Texas Tech will be a top 10 QB next season.
I believe so, and we can pull up a top 10 right now and start talking about. I gotta tell you, he's ranked like probably around like 15 or something right now. But I
What's
think
his name?
Baron Morton,
Baron Morton.
BEAHREN. I'm telling you,
Morton?
Um,
he can sling the ball really well. We had
Top 10 is kind of. I feel like that's kind of vague for college football. Like if you're gonna be top 10, you're not gonna be. I mean, you could be top 10 and still.
Oh
not
my
be,
gosh, this
not
guy's
be
gonna
the
play
best.
10 years of college football.
It's his senior year.
Yeah.
He's only played 3 years.
Here's the thing, though, is that would you say that would you
He's
put him
not
more
bad
in
at
closer to
all.
top 5? Who are you taking? I mean,
Okay, so I think above him will be Carson Beck, maybe Dylan Pavolia, whatever his name was, the one who came from Vanderbilt. He transferred out.
Oh, Diego.
Diego.
He's
I
just
think-
still,
I think
he's
he's-
still at Vanderbilt, right?
I thought he transferred.
Is he? I didn't know that.
I think the quarterback for Arizona State's gonna be pretty good.
That young cat.
Yeah, he was really good. I guess the kid from Oregon, Dante Moore. I guess
Yeah.
he transferred from
The-
UCLA.
That
He
kid
went to
from
Oregon.
Texas.
The Auburn guys. Oh yeah,
Arch.
Arch. I think Arch will probably be number 1. Yeah.
Heisman. He'll be back-to-back Heisman.
You got
Auburn.
Arch. You got Underwood coming in.
Yeah. Auburn quarterback Leonard, something like that.
Cade
Sanders.
Klubnik. Don't
Sellers?
forget about Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik.
Yeah.
Cade Klubnik. That's just.
Well, see, that's why I said
Look,
top
boom.
10.
Sam Levitt. You've got Garrett Nussmeier. But he'll be
He's
good.
coming back for LSU.
Drew
right?
Aller. I mean, he didn't play the best. Don't forget about Nico.
I'm
from
telling you.
Tennessee.
Nico. Don't forget about Nico. I bet Nico will be top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
So
Nico.
top, it says, I mean, you called it on the tee. I wouldn't have included him, but it says top 3 quarterbacks predicted would be Cade Klubnik, Sam Levitt from Arizona State, and Arch Manning.
Yeah. I think that.
I think
I
he's
think
just.
Sam Levitt's
I think he's
legit,
just
though.
gonna
Top
work out
true
this year.
Dual threat quarterbacks: Keon Russell, Deuce McKnight, Malik Washington, and Carter Smith.
He may be. I mean, the Texas Tech kid might be the best QB in the Big 12.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, that could be another hot take too. But I don't really know much about him.
Man, I'm surprised. This is crazy.
Sam Levitt is in the Big 12, though.
Oh, that's
You'd
true.
have to
Sam
work- you'd
Levitt.
have to
Yeah, no,
outwork
he's not
him.
beating
This
Sam
is
Levitt.
from PFF. Okay, it's got Cade Klubnik number 1. It's got Sam Levitt 2.
You got
Carson
him over
Beck
Arch?
3. Drew
Really?
Aller 4. Garrett Essemeyer 5. Arch Manning 6.
That's kind of, I don't know.
DJ Langway.
Lagway.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he's going to be nasty too
Diego
for Florida.
Pavia. He's still at Diego. I think he stayed in there.
So this is where I think he'd slide in. is right
Nico,
here.
Tennessee. Kevin Jennings, SMU. I thought it was nasty. Taylon Green from the...
So they even got Caden Seltzer, whatever his name is, at Colorado now. He transferred from Liberty.
Oh, yeah, he
Liberty,
was nasty
Liberty,
too.
Liberty.
He was
But
nasty.
I think my boy Baron Morton gonna be up there, man.
Well-
If he runs that same scheme that he had this year, he had a
He had
15,
27 and 5, right? 27 and 5 was his stats. Was pretty good.
27.5. I think he threw probably like what 3,800 yards.
3,500 yards.
Yeah.
3,300 yards. 27 and 8. I'm sorry.
I don't know much about him, so I'm going to say it's a
Y'all
hot
gonna
take.
learn.
I'm going to say it's a
It
hot
does
take.
sound
I don't
like a
think
hot take
I don't
to me.
think he will end as a top 10 QB
Y'all
in
gonna
college.
learn,
He
man.
only had negative 22 rushing yards last year.
That's
Y'all
probably
gonna
counting
learn.
sacks.
I mean,
He's
it's okay.
nice,
I respect
bro.
you for being.
He's
the
not. He's
I respect you for being the home.
Y'all go-
Hey, we appreciate the hot take. We
We
appreciate
do.
the hot take. And then we're getting into the last one, probably the hottest take we've seen on the show. Okay, just putting that out there. Jeremy Shockey is not a top 10
Oh,
tight
I
end.
forgot to put that on there. I was like, what did I put on there? Yeah, Jerry Shockey is not a top. Did I say 10?
Top 10, yeah.
Top 10. Yeah, he's not top 10.
that was the last one on Instagram. We got a few more notes, right?
Do we?
From
Oh, yeah,
Roa.
we got two
yeah.
more. Sorry, we got two
Top
more.
tight ends, NFL. Let me just nail. Okay, like Antonio Gates. I know that one.
Tony Gonzalez,
Tony Gonzalez, George Kittle.
Trav, Killer Trav,
I mean,
Mr. Swift,
Gronk,
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
I just like Jeremy Shockey because he's a dog.
He's
Yeah.
a bum.
Okay, you could say he's not top 10 tight end, but he's a top 10 dog.
He's
Oh,
top,
we're
top,
making
top
dogs.
5
I ain't gonna
dog.
say nothing about
Top
being
5
dog.
dog. I like Jeremy Shockey. I think that's why he threw that in there. And we had this argument before we started the podcast that
Actually, I think this is what started the podcast.
this
is
actually
actually
is
probably what
this actually
started the
is what started the podcast. We
Yeah,
were all
Tony
talking.
Gonzalez, Antonio Gonzalez. I'm sorry, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Travis Kelce, Shannon Sharp, Kellen Winslow, Ozzie Newsome, Mike Ditka, John Mackey.
I don't know. Jeremy Shockey did have more
Jason
yards
Witten.
per catch than Tony Gonzalez. Just saying that. Just
Okay.
throwing that out there.
Okay.
Anywho, we're getting into these not fan submitted on Instagram, but these are some people that reached out to us and had some hot takes for us. Sammy's coworker,
My coworker Drew.
Drew. Shout out
Drew.
Drew. Dak's still better than Hurts at QB.
What do y'all think about that?
Ooh,
He's a Cowboys fan, but he's a pretty.
He's
Well,
a
I'm not.
ball
he's
I'm
a
not like.
realistic one.
He's a pretty realistic with Dak because you know all these Cowboys fans like just say sell
Either
Dak,
love
get
him
Dak
or
out of
hate
here.
him.
But Dak is like he's a pretty decent quarterback.
I would say he's an
when
average
it comes
quarterback.
to being a quarterback, I would take Dak over Jalen Hurts. I would take Dak over Jalen Hurts. I think he reads defense better. I think he's got a better arm. He's more accurate. And I think if Jalen Hurts didn't have the running ability, that's the thing that sets Jalen Hurts apart. I just had this argument with this guy on Twitter. I roasted him. I got the Twitter. I guess I got the receipts. I mean, if Jalen Hurts couldn't run, he's not playing quarterback in the NFL. He's not a second round draft pick. And I know that's okay. Well, that's why he's great. Absolutely understand that. But when you're talking about better quarterback, if I want one or the other, I would take Dak.
I'm taking Dak.
I would take Dak. I know he can throw the deep ball. Put a receiver down there and go down the field and he can get it.
Dak was almost won MVP last year.
And then that one season when he broke his ankle, he was on track for having the most yards ever in a season, most touchdowns in a season with I think he had 2 interceptions or something like that.
Yeah.
When he broke his ankle, he was about to have a crazy season. And he plays on the Cowboys and has to deal with Jerry Jones and does it
And all the
well.
media.
Yeah,
And all the media. I mean, that's like a
yeah.
zoo there to play there.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's
Watch
what
him
players have
practice.
compared it to, though. Is
Yeah.
like they actually said that playing for the Cowboys is like a zoo because you have fans walking through all the time when you're doing your workouts and walkthroughs
They
and all that
pay
kind
to
of stuff.
watch them work out. Like
That's nuts.
But my take on that is sometimes though Jalen Hurts would just turn into the GOAT and just throw crazy game. But I don't know if that has to do with the team around him because I guess you could say he has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and this
Got
great
two
O-line.
number
Well, you look at
ones,
last year, he had the most turnovers in the league by a quarterback.
Mhm.
And then they go sign Saquon, and the turnovers go down because he doesn't touch the ball as much.
Yeah.
So my thing is, like, Dak's man will be good whether he's had a running back or not.
I-
Whether he's had a number one or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely take Dak. I'm taking Dak just just off throwing ability.
And I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't like the Cowboys.
I don't like the
either.
Cowboys
It's
or
not
their
that I don't
fan
like the
base.
Cowboys. I don't like the fan base.
Oh,
a lot of the
yeah.
fans
I
are
like Raiders
delusional.
fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out Raiders though. They got biggest Mexican fan base. In the
See, I wasn't gonna say it, but
I
that's
didn't
what
say it,
that's
that's
what I
for
was gonna
sure.
say. But shout out Drew, Sammy's coworker, for that hot take. We got another one right here. Rolo, my cousin, said, "Are you taking Alex Rodriguez or Jeter? Who are you taking?"
Jeter.
Oh my.
A-Rod or Jeter?
Yeah, I'm taking A-Rod.
Really?
I'm taking A-Rod, but
Really?
what,
I
it
don't know
depends on what you're
baseball
talking
like that.
about.
I don't know
Are you-
baseball like that.
Are you just talking
still.
about as a Yankee? As a
No,
Yankee,
he
Jeter,
was talking about career.
as a Yankee, Jeter has probably one of the best
A-Rod.
legacies. But A-Rod, before he was on the
Steroids.
Yankees, he was nasty.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Steroids.
A-Rod played with the Mariners, that team that tied the record for most wins in a season.
Okay, I'm about to look at this.
So A-Rod was there. A-Rod has way more home runs. A-Rod was.
I think he was better at defense too.
I think he
What's
was
his name?
too.
Aaron Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez. Why did I put Aaron Rodgers just now? Alex.
I think he was better at defense
I
than
think he's a
Jeter
better
was.
hitter, better defensive player as well.
Defensive.
I just think A-Rod, better all-around player. I think the funny thing is too is people kind of set aside, like, there's this stat out there for Derek Jeter, defensive run saves. He's like negative, like negative 100 and something. So he really wasn't the best defender.
Yeah.
He was just clutch.
Yeah.
You know, like he would show up when it mattered.
He locked in. His last hit of his career was a home run, right?
Yeah,
Something
walk-off home run.
Walk-off.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dope.
I think it was staged.
they had
but,
the ball on a rope.
Yeah. Nah, I
Wow.
mean, I would definitely
Okay.
take Alex Rodriguez. I mean, they're both Hall of Famers, but
Okay, I think I have to recant my statement.
yeah.
I didn't know.
Jeter
A-Rod was like
Jeter
that.
is just synonymous with winning, and I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. And also, he stayed with the Yankees the whole time. That's the captain.
And A-Rod
It's-
played longer too. They
Yeah.
played like the same time, 94
Yeah.
to 2006 for 2016. I'm sorry for A-Rod.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter 95 to 2014.
Yeah.
Games. I mean, they're within 40 games of each other. Plate appearances within 400 of each other.
Yeah.
And I'm looking here and like, what's WAR? Wins over
Wins above replacement.
Wins above replacement. He's got 117 compared to Derek Jeter's 71.
Yeah. A-Rod was just a
He's got
dominant
more
player.
hits by 300, but A-Rod's almost 700 home runs, RBIs over 2,000, stolen bases. I mean, 329 to 358.
That don't matter with them.
They both didn't.
I know,
they both didn't
I mean,
really steal bases.
And then batting average 295 to 310, but OBP 380.
Who had 310? A-Rod?
Jeter. Jeter was
what?
310.
Batting average, yeah. Derek
Yeah.
Jeter. I'm gonna say Derek Jeter to A-Rod.
Yeah, Derek Jeter was more of a contact hitter.
Slugging percentage, OPS plus, all his are better. Except just didn't win as many championships.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Derek
Alex Rod's
Jeter.
not in the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. I didn't know, is that-
This is steroid allegations.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think A-Rod for sure.
I think icon Derek Jeter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you think of a Yankee, you think of the captain, you think of Derek Jeter. You think of winning, you
number
think
two.
Derek Jeter. As far as like statistics
I didn't
and
realize
like
that.
actually
I
watching
didn't realize
play,
he was like that.
Alex Rodriguez is him.
I'm
like
sorry.
he is legit.
Yeah.
So-
nah,
And the
he-
Texans
he's nasty.
paid him forever.
Yeah,
Texas Rangers.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Rangers.
Yeah, that's all I
Yeah,
remember.
they paid him like crazy.
When you get my dad on the podcast about baseball, that guy has like every
Yeah.
stat book in the world. Like
That's funny. I think I got one more that was fan submitted. Let me find it. This is gonna be from our one Japan listener. Shout out to Brian. He's overseas serving our country. Let me find it real quick. Salute to the boy.
Salute.
So we're getting close to the end of this, but I do want to ask one question while
Yeah.
you find that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a question. Y'all can think about it or you can answer today. So who do you want taking a game-winning shot in the NBA? Who's you gonna pick? One guy. Shh. Fate of the world, Martians.
Give me
have the
Iguodala.
team.
Give me Iguodala.
You know what's actually funny? I've seen Austin Reeves right now has like the best buzzer beater percentage or
I
something
saw
like
that.
that.
Like who do you want your team in the hands of? I think I'm still gonna go LeBron or Steph Curry. I think.
I think personally, and I might be a little biased because the Olympic documentary. I think I might rock with KD, man.
KD?
He can get you whatever shot you need.
It's a good one.
He can get you whatever shot you need.
Ray, you got one?
I want to say Steph.
I'm
Really?
kind of LeBron or Steph.
I want to say Steph. I just think the way he can shoot it from anywhere on the court.
Yeah.
And I think
And
he's
hit
hitting
the hole for being as tiny as he is.
and I think he's hit some big shots in his career too. So I would if I had to, like you said, fade the world. You got aliens coming down, alien
The
invasion.
moonbeam, Mars
I'd be all right with Steph taking it. Steph or LeBron for sure.
Iguodala. That's so funny. Funniest clip. And then my other one was at bat. If you had someone to put at bat.
Final at bat.
Final at bat. You hit you
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
I'm taking Barry.
I'll
Bonds.
rock with Bonds too because
gonna
to me
walk
that's
him,
the
though.
best.
Hey,
best hitter.
I guess.
Okay, if you could pick Barry on
He got
Bonds.
walked with the bases loaded. That's intentionally walked with the bases
saw
loaded.
that.
But
So
you know who's pretty clutch though when it comes postseason hits?
Corey Seager.
Bryce Harper was pretty clutch.
Oh,
Bryce Harper, yeah.
Corey
Bryce
Seager
Harper's
hit that home run for the Rangers.
for the Rangers, yeah.
Corey Seager's a dog, but I wouldn't say that's the best player I'd ever pick. To
I don't
take
know.
my last at
I don't
bat.
know. really know baseball.
I would take Barry
Give me
Bonds.
Trevor Story. I mean for the
Red
Red
Sox.
Sox.
All right, I got you.
Hot
Got
take. Go ahead.
all right. The hot take from Brian in Japan. He said, "If you're the Red Sox, I'm keeping Devers at third base and making Bregman move. What do you guys think? I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yes, I've heard about it. I've actually been seeing it on TikTok because I've been doing a lot of research on baseball. And I saw it. People give him a really hard time about being a defender, but if you look at it, he really played very well.
And that's where I got this. That's where I saw the stat was Derek Jeter's defensive run saves was like negative 162 compared to Devers was negative 90. So it's like, okay, you're saying that he's not a good defender, but he was better than Derek Jeter, which everybody in their mind, is synonymous with the catch and the whole jump up, throw it, and he's a good defender. Mm-hmm. That's what people think, but when you really dive deep into it, he really wasn't the best defender, and you can get away with that if you're a good hitter. And I think Devers is a great hitter. So I would personally, to keep him happy, because you don't want him getting all mad and
crashing
leaving.
out.
I was about to say, like,
crashing out. Yeah.
What's your goal for the season?
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
to make someone to insert your will and your dominance as an organization, or say, okay, well, what's his,
Bregman said
I'll play wherever.
He
That's
said,
fine.
I'm good, man. I'll go
if
play
he's
wherever.
good with that, don't upset it. 'Cause
Yeah,
now
don't
you
make
just
it
signed a
worse.
big guy. You're signing Alex. I'm sorry, Bregman. You've signed Bregman, and you made Devers mad.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Now he gets at the at bat as a designated hitter, and he's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So you just completely stop what you're doing. So I would say if Devers is okay playing third, he wants to stay at third, and Bregman play wherever. Play him wherever. But if they want Bregman at third and Devers is okay with opening, going somewhere else, which he isn't, he said it like, hey, I'm here to play third base.
Yeah.
Then
Where would you put Bregman?
Second. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got Story at short, and you got Casas at first. So yeah, I'm putting Bregman at second. Plus, Bregman was a shortstop in college.
Yeah,
Bregman
LSU.
played short at LSU, so I mean he can play up the middle.
with it.
I feel like the fact that he said I don't care where I'm put is just all built up off the media. Then they were just hype or trying to get in Devers' head or something.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the organization did come to him because they're like, we don't want a Pablo Sandoval situation where you just keep gaining weight and now you can't play third at all.
Yeah.
And they came in and were like, hey man, you look kind of out of shape. There's been videos circulating around of him looking kind of big, and they're like, well, if you're not going to be in shape, we're going to take your spot away from you. But I think it was big. I think it was good by Bregman, though, by saying, hey, man, I can play anywhere. You guys signed me. I'm here to win. I don't care where I play. Yeah. So I think it's good by Bregman to do that. I think you keep Devers there at third. He's just a good hitter, and you don't want, like you said, you don't want him crashing out. You don't want him.
He's been with the squad. He won a chip with the squad.
You don't want him, taking his mind out of it and not wanting to do it, because he's one of the best young hitters in the game. So
Went there a situation too when A-Rod joined the Yankees. They wanted A-Rod to maybe play short, but Derek Jeter was.
Yep, same thing. Yeah, Jeter was like, nah, I mean, I'm not gonna move. So A-Rod was like, yeah, I'll play third. I don't mind it. But also A-Rod was open to doing that already, because when he got selected to the All-Star game when he was with the Rangers, Cal Ripken Jr. was playing third base, and he was selected at short. A-Rod was selected at short. A-Rod said, here, this is your last All-Star game. You go play short. I'll play third. Yeah. So he was already open. He's always been like that. So can't say the same for, Devers, right? Yeah. So but I don't know.
Baseball players are divas.
Yeah. They can be. My buddy
pride.
Cody Moose, he was a trainer for spring training for the Giants, and he was like, man, these baseball players, and I mean, he played baseball too in college with me, but he's like, some of these dudes are divas for sure. So.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's that pride.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll kind of wrap it up right there. I probably could go another hour talking, of course, but we got a lot of stuff we want to cover. We covered a lot. I think next week we'll do some predictions, some way too early championship predictions. Sammy's going to bring our trivia segment.
Yep.
next week. So
we'll keep going with these Heat Check Thursdays too. So be on the lookout. The Instagram post. Tap in there. Leave your comments so we can shout you guys out. Interact with you guys. Kind of go from there.
Yeah. Go share us. Follow us.
Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, let all the ball
I've always
knowers.
wanted to say that. Subscribe to my YouTube.
hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button below and what?
Hit the
thumbs
bell
up
for
and hit the
video.
bell for notifications.
thumbs up if you like the video.
Thumbs up the video.
For the video.
That's funny. But I mean, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. This is kind of our new setup for right now. We're probably gonna have a different background every time we record. We're still working on some things, so quality will get better as we go with the support of you guys. But we'll do some new segments. But yeah, that's all we've got for the bounce pass pitch
podcast, baby.
We're out.